Soraya, Maxine, it's such an honor to have you here with us today. We're super excited to be hearing about your journeys into launching Zady and to hear about everything you're working on right now. We'd love to share with our audience your stories from college to now, if you could go into your entrepreneurial journeys. I think what you've been doing is so exciting, and I think everything you've been doing along the way has led to this moment. So if you could share that, that'd be great.
Happily. 10 years ago, it's been that long, I left DC where I went to college dreaming of a career in digital media. I had interned for Sony Music and the WashingtonPost.com. In college, I really thought that digital journalism was the future, and had the pleasure of working for some big media companies like Condé Nast and the New York Times on the digital teams. But really, it was that New York Times job where I was managing digital partnerships and social media that allowed me to meet amazing entrepreneurs and caught the bug, as a lot of us do, wanted to build things as opposed to sit on the sidelines and watch things grow. So it was in 2010 that friends and I started Food Spotting, which is a location-based mobile application that was named Apple and Wired App of the Year in 2010. And we eventually sold that company. So all of those jobs led me to an amazing conversation with the woman sitting to my right, who started this brilliant social enterprise that she'll tell you about, and that honestly led to the inspiration of what has since become Zady.
Amazing. Maxine, what's your journey been?
Quite different than Soraya's, though we went to high school together, so we had that great commonality.
Oh, wow.
I went
in Minnesota?
In Minnesota, that's right.
Yeah.
I went to school in New York. And I was inspired by the work that was happening at the United Nations. So that's where my career began, in the General Assembly of the United Nations. And I was really looking for a way to see real significant impact. And it was hard to see the impact when you're in this big New York building. It was exciting, but I wanted to be more in the field. And so that led me to working at nonprofits where I got to travel a lot. And I eventually found myself working at the Rwandan Criminal Tribunal in Tanzania.
Oh, amazing.
Which is another UN agency, a UN court system. And while I was there, during the days I would work in the court, but on the weekends and at nights I would go explore the different markets. And I loved the colors and the smells of everything. It just was really alive. And it was there that I had my first kind of on-the-ground experience of what life is like in such a different place. And I discovered a lot about the world through the products that I would look at and the people that I would talk to. And I saw that there were these traditions that were so beautiful, but nobody was passing them down from one generation to the next. And you know, there's a lot of problem with job development throughout Southern Africa and in the developing world. And so that was the inspiration for the nonprofit, the Bootstrap Project that Soraya mentioned, which was to revive those beautiful craft traditions and really to help these people build businesses and help them do what they are so talented at. And that, you know, led us together and have a conversation. And as we discovered the issues that surround what we wear every single day, and how, you know, we as this generation are so thoughtful about what we put into our body and how we exercise and how we live our lives more broadly, but then the thing that we wear every day, we don't seem to have that same sort of thinking and mentality. And that was how we got together to create Zady's, like, we can do this, we should be thinking about it.
That's amazing, and you two are perfect business partners given your entrepreneurship and technology backgrounds and your entrepreneurship background with social impact involved in that. It's amazing. So now with Zady, how do you divide the two roles and what do you particularly oversee? I'd love to hear about the various day-to-day work you do.
It's a huge collaboration. We are co-CEOs and it works beautifully for us because we do divide and conquer quite well. I think you nailed it, what you said a second ago. We each have very diverse backgrounds that we bring to many of the big decisions that we make. And when it comes to vision and where we'd like to see the company in 1 year or 5 years, we do all of that together. And then when it comes to individual products, you know, we sometimes split up the work and we have a huge team, not in size, because it's only, but in terms of mind share. So we rely on them quite greatly.
That's great.
Yeah, it's really a team effort, and you know, we're building not just a company, we're building a movement around clothing. And so that is, it's not just the two of us, it's definitely the mind share of the team that helps us get there.
That's great. And in terms of your team, are there a lot of marketing people on the team? Are there a lot of finance people, operations? Like, what's kind of the biggest focus of your team at the moment?
Well, it's a a pretty complex company, actually. So though we're selling things and a product, which is that in and of itself is simple, we are an online company, so we have developers, we have designers, we have marketers, we have data marketing people. But then there's also a physical component to what we're doing and the experiences of that, and so that adds a whole other layer. And then we're very excited because we're launching our own product, and that adds another layer of complexity. But it's a lot of behind-the-scenes complexity to have really something very simple out there, something that you want to wear every day that's solving a big problem.
And Made in America will be a large part of this new brand that you're creating, right?
Well, Made in America is certainly very important to the first product that we're releasing because that product is sustainably produced using American wool. And so for this story, we want to show all 5 components of the supply chain that have an end result of a gorgeous American-made knit. That's not to say we don't believe fervently in the beauty of, let's say, Italian-made goods. Zady is a worldly company at the end of the day, but we're very proud of the fact that our first product is made exclusively here in the US.
That's amazing. Well, congratulations again, and thank you again for being here. It's such an honor to hear your story and to share it with the world on Mogul.